And just talking about the animation industry at large, in terms of, I mean, you have witnessed it over the past couple of decades. So, what is your thought on it in terms of, have you seen a lot more potential coming out of it? Have you also seen a lot more exposure in terms of the work that has been happening?
In 95, you have to understand that there was nobody there except for Mr. Ramon, who had a few people working with him. So there were a handful of animators, maybe 4 or 5 animators you could count in your fingertips, right? These are the animators, and there were 2 or 3 studios, and that was it. That was the entire animation industry. And when I came back, and then subsequently Mr. Ramon tied up, I think the turning point in the Indian animation industry was that he tied up with around 95, 96 only. He tied up with UTV, and he made RMUSL initially, which became UTV Toons later on, and in which he personally mentored and personally trained hundreds of artists. That became a turning point in the industry, because those artists, many of them split and they formed their own studios. Many of them became part of other studios that were to come in, which subsequently died but resurrected in various avatars. So there have been huge breakthroughs if you look at it from a certain perspective. One perspective is India today is doing the animation for a lot of Hollywood films, mainstream Hollywood films, whether it's DreamWorks, whether it's Disney, whether it is visual effects for a lot of things. Of course, Rhythm and News was alive till a few months ago. India is really up there in terms of high quality stuff, and whatever. The supervisors may be from international days, but we have also good supervisors here. The only fact to know about this thing development is that we're not doing the creative, we're not doing the storyboard, we're not doing the designing and all that, and which is okay, because the sensibility of the West film, if it's made for the West and by and large a Western audience, because that's where most of the revenues are coming from. Obviously they would want to keep that creative control with them. As far as television is concerned, we're expecting the government to actually put in some kind of restriction on the foreign content and have a certain component of indigenous content, which is up to 40%.
Right.
We're looking at the government should make it mandatory, as a lot of countries have that, which is that we need to protect and nurture our local industries, and that movement itself will spawn off so many more studios. There are issues with that, and of course we've seen governments change, and so we're also looking at how we can actually move that agenda forward. We're all working together as a core group to kind of see how we can actually move forward and see how we can think. So till television, according to me, is doing well for 1 or 2 players. Maybe Maya's got a lot of serials there, but by and large it's not doing well for most, because people are being squeezed for cost, and the IP is being retained by the channels, and so on, and the price is not being paid. So it's okay to retain the IP, but at least pay the price, the correct price, with a profit. But that's not happening. So a lot of studios are dying. It's a win-lose situation. A lot of people have not understood that they cannot do it at the expense of killing themselves.
What are the plans ahead for Climb Media?
I'm working on Jugnoo right now, which is, I know that it's an international project, right? And it's taken us long to write the story, then it's taken us longer to make the proof of concept. It's a very different kind of concept, at least for as India is concerned, which is about a bungling trickster magician who comes into this town, which is under the grip of an evil tantric magician, and then what happens next. So it's a classic David versus Goliath story, and it's a horror comedy, and it's a zone that adults. So the basic shift that we've done with Jugnoo is, I think with Toonpur I was very clear that I want to make a film for kids. With this one, I'm clear that we want to make a film for adults and for the child in them. Okay, where the kids will also like it.
Right.
Which is the approach that what Pixar and Disney is following.
True.
And therefore look at an international audience. We have got some support from the industry already, so up to about half the money is already come in, but we're still waiting on the other half to start the project.
What are your views in terms of your contemporaries?
I know Shilpa for donkeys of years. I know her for about 25 years now, 25 years now, and at the time that she just graduated. I've been following her work since then. Money's Dying, and there were other films which are really outstanding films, short films. Very niche but very outstanding. And of course this Gopi Gavaiya was a very big surprise, because the music is outstanding, the designing is absolutely fabulous, and it's a very international look. And the budget that it's made at, it's a very compelling film. So it's a great film. I did also have a chance to look at Gitanjali Rao's film, which is called
True Love Story.
True Love Story. Yes, True Love Story. Sorry, how could I forget? Gitanjali Rao also. I loved the film. I loved the treatment. I loved the story, and it was so layered and so complex, and yet done so beautifully. And some of the images that she has, the visualization is absolutely outstanding.
What do you think is like lacking in terms of the Indian animation scenario?
One thing is that our studio or our organization, obviously we have a pre-production unit here, and we have a very strong pre-production unit because we believe that the Bible of the film, or if it's an ad film or whatever, needs to be very, very strong. So we are basically, the pre-production is the area where we emphasize the most, where we come up with the great designs. I recently went to Green Gold also for the first time.
Okay.
Incredible work, incredible vision. When I say incredible work, means not in necessarily in terms of quality, because obviously television is restrictive as a medium and you have only a limited budget.
Right.
But incredible passion, incredible work, such remarkable integrity in what they are doing, such remarkable passion and integrity. I saw some of the tests, the 3D tests of Chota Bheem also, which they are contemplating. They may come up with outstanding stuff. So they're always trying to push the envelope, and I understand, because I also run an organization, that it's always difficult to do those kind of high quality 3D stuff and yet sell it to the channel, because the price will never come.
Right.
So, but incredible stuff, and all hats to Rajiv Chilaka, because he's one person who has succeeded in changing the domain as far as the Indian IP is concerned, and we just wish and pray that it should open up a little bit more so other players also can get in. We also want to be there. It's just that it's so restrictive right now, because we somewhere got we digressed into feature films and other things and ad films and all that. We would love to also be part of the television space, but of course the terms need to change, a few things need to change, and it's a bit chicken and egg situation right now. But all hats off to all credit to Rajiv for having persevered for these many years, for living on the edge and being non-profitable for many years before actually turning the corner and becoming profitable, and of course now being a huge success. So he's been through that journey, which is really outstanding.
Thank you so much once again for interacting with Animation Express.
Thank you.
And look forward to meeting you soon.